sportu a showbiznesu. Působíme již od roku 2016. Řídíme se heslem v každém z nás několik. Mozíme lety, překonáváme hranice, vykonáváme haly a bavíme 100 000 fanoušků. Oblázili jsme Česko, Slovensko a Německo. Cirkus a Mání, nyní rozjíždíme i v Anglii a chystáme se také na další trhy. Našimi zakladateli jsou Ondřej Novotný a Pavel Neruda. Jsme OKTAGON.
Krásný, dobrý večer, dámy a pánové. OKTAGON MMA se po krátké době opět vrací do Bratislavy, do hlavního města Slovenska a zimný stadion Ondřeja Nepelu se pomaličku začíná plnit, protože dnes nás tady čeká další skvělý turnaj. Na kartě máme 10 zápasů, představí se několik skvělých tuzemských domácích bojovníků a v hlavním zápase dnešního večera to bude sám Buky Ivan Buchinger. Věřím, že se na to těšíte. Já a Gogi se na to těšíme strašně moc a nebude to dneska ale jenom o samotném MMA. My budeme s vámi soutěžit díky našemu generálnímu partnerovi Typ Sportu. Jsou připraveny hned 3 MMA kvízy a někdo z vás si odnese odsud dnes večer domů skvělé ceny. A pokud byste s námi chtěli soutěžit i online, tak i to bude možné. Rozhodně doporučuju, zastavte se také na stáncích s OKTAGON merchem, kde najdete novou podzimní a zimní kolekci a můžete se obléknout opravdu ve stylu na běžné každodenní nošení. Najdete tam také speciální sběratelskou edici kartiček. Nakupovat můžete tady přímo na stadionu a nebo i online skrze OKTAGON Store. No a v neposlední řadě toho, o čem jsem mluvil, v rámci OKTAGONu na konci letošního roku vyvrcholí Typ Sport Game Changer, unikátní projekt Liga mistrů MMA a vy se můžete zapojit v rámci Typ Sport Game Changer Challenge. Stačí, když si naskenujete QR kód, který uvidíte během dnešního večera několikrát na obrazovkách a na kostce, a zapojíte se do téhle velké typovací soutěže, kde mezi vás Typ Sport rozdá hromadu dárků a na toho nejlepšího čeká hlavní cena 100 000 euro. Dámy a pánové, jsme rádi, že jste tady s námi, můžeme začít. Tohle je OKTAGON 63.
OKTAGON MMA is taking Bratislava by storm with its electrifying November show. The Slovakian legend Ivan Buchinger will face his fears in the Slovakian capital in the form of the Namibian Nightmare. Hafeni Nafuka is one of the most talented European fighters, a 21-year-old rising star and the body and soul of the new generation of MMA. He has promised to finish the former double champion right in front of his home fans and send him into retirement. Two of the biggest names in OKTAGON that are known for their legendary fights and former title challenges in a clash of the welterweight division. Mate Kurtesh versus Apollo Silva. The beloved Prince of Bratislava, Robo Pukac, is getting ready in his hometown to take on the finisher, Amari Diedrich, who always welcomes the battle. The winner of Season 3 of OKTAGON Challenge, Karol Bombay Rishavi, is aiming his arsenal of bombs at Gioni Palakai, who has a string of 4 wins and steamrolled Islam Dulatov. Stand-up fighting versus on the ground. František Fodo has been with OKTAGON since the start, and his grenades have wiped out many men. Will they work against Damian Lapalus, the former champion of Bama and the black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? The winner of Season 5 of OKTAGON Challenge, Paulus, is set to fight against the unforgettable Finn, Elonen Kulmala, who is returning to OKTAGON after a 2-year break. Ladies and gentlemen, this is OKTAGON 63, Buchinger versus Nafuka. Buy the pay-per-view and enjoy the tournament from the front row at oktagon.tv.
Krásný dobrý večer, dámy a pánové, chlapci a děvčata, naši milí Summerová. Krásný dobrý večer vám všem, jednak u televizních obrazovek, ale samozřejmě také tady v Bratislavě. Jsme zase zpátky na stadionu Ondreja Nepelu nebo Typos aréně, takže vítejte zpátky na Slovensku v Bratislavě. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in Bratislava, Octagon 63. My name is Ondřej, Brian, English voice of Octagon, and also Philip, German voice of Octagon. Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Excited to be here, Andre, back in the Tipos Arena. Let's go.
Let's go. 10 fights in front of us. We struggle a little bit with the card because the big main event was cancelled. But in the end, we got another one big event. And it's really big because the youngest guy in the main event ever, Hafeni Nafuka, will try, like he said, kill the legendary Ivan Buchinger in front of his fans.
It's an incredible matchup between two different generations of fighter. And Nafeni Nafuka was basically 8 years old when Buki turned pro. 22 fights into Buki's career. That is when Nafeni Nafuka first put on a gi, first started training martial arts. Years later, he will now face off against the legend, not just in mixed martial arts, but in this very city of Bratislava.
What do you got for this main event? Do you believe that Nafuka is enough to beat Ivan here in Bratislava, where he never lost a fight?
It is very difficult to answer that question, but look at Nafuka. I mean, since the fight against Predrag Bogdanovic, which was the wake-up call for him to step up his game and really train like a maniac, switch his team, go to All-Stars in Spain. Now, he was the first one who defeated Arjan Topalai, and maybe, if Buki is having a bad evening today, Nafuka can get advantage of this. But in 90% of the cases, I think Buki is going to make it on this soil.
Buki is slightly favorite on the tip sport, so we will see who's going to be win. But we got many dark horses, I would say, on this fight card. For me, it's definitely Rochal against Mekuar. Two crazy guys, they will swing and bang whole fight, and in the end we will see the KO most likely.
It's two different energies coming together. Radak Rushel with that, you know, the aggression, that persona that he comes in every single time, and Jack Maguire, the most relaxed man in the arena tonight. Do not underestimate him though. He comes from a great gym, Cork MMA. He has proved himself in the Cage Warriors cage already. He has excellent boxing. He has a very good fight IQ, and he has not just come here to make up the numbers, Andre.
We got also two Octagon Challenge winners from Slovakia. Roman Paulus, the youngest one, still only 25, and also Karol Bombirishavi. And this is my question. Can Karol Bombirishavi stop Johnny Palokaj in Octagon?
I think it's going to be difficult for him because those two fighters have one same strength, which is the clinch. So Rijavi is using the clinch for elbows and knees that are just vicious, and Palokaj is using the clinch for control and for punches. Whoever is going to play this one better is going to win the fight, I guess. But statistically, it's so hard to tell, like always. And I mean, the whole fight card is full of surprises, and this fight card is like the party nights. I mean, things that happen spontaneously are always the best, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. It should be perfect party. So who you got as your dark horses, Brian?
For me, I think we have to watch for the flyweight fight. Aaron Abbey versus Jalgas making his debut here. You know, connotations for the title, but this will be the biggest test of Aaron Abbey's professional life inside the cage. We know his story outside the cage. Survivor of cancer, cystic fibrosis sufferer, an absolute warrior through and through. He has 70 fans in the audience that have made the journey tonight, but Jalgas has proved himself in the UFC cage, across there at Kazakhstan, in Russia. It, for me, will be the sneak for fight of the night.
Last one for you.
I think it's definitely going to be Nafuka versus Buchinger.
Okay, and I have to add that two former title challenger will be in the co-main event, Kertes against Apollo. It should be also a perfect war. Many of us are thinking that it's going to be decision on points. Really slightly favorite is maybe Apollo for somebody, but I believe that Mate Kertes is favorite in my eyes.
I think both of them have fought for the title already. Both of them want to make that run at it again. And tonight, one of them will make a move forward. But I think it will be down to not just the skills, but who you know is the wisest in that cage.
We will see. There's going to be, like you said, a lot of party. So let's party with us. Octagon 63 can start right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here in Bratislava, the Typos Arena for Octagon 63. Myself, Luke Barnett, will be joined by Brian Lacey very shortly. And we will start by taking you through the rules of engagement inside the Octagon MMA cage. Have an incredible night of fights tonight, ending up with that main event, the youngest man ever at 21 years old to make the walk into that main event, taking on the legend that is Bookie. But here we see the mixed martial arts rules. It will take place in a cage in the shape of a circle, as we known as the Octagon. Standing up techniques shall be utilized, such as boxing, Thai boxing, karate, Taekwondo, and anything else you can think of when it comes to striking. And it continues onto the ground, where contestants will use Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grappling, Sambo, and everything else they can mix in together. All the fights tonight will be fought over 3 5-minute rounds, and the fights can end either by knockout, submission, referee stoppage, or victory on points by judge's decision at the end of the fight. Deciding factors will be strike impact efficiency, damage mainly, dominance on the ground, aggressiveness, and control of the Octagon space. Here we go then, Brian. Octagon 63. We are here in the Typos Arena, and this is the undercard.
There we go, 4 fights to whet your appetite as we move forward through tonight. Ciganik versus Enns will kick off the night. That is our YouTube free prelim. Smolkova versus Simplicio. The Brazilian already coming off the back of a submission win against Magdalena Shomova, which was a big win here on Czech soil, taking on the sweetheart of Bratislava. Paulus versus Alonan Kulamala, the Finnish fighter, taking on the Slovak rising star. And then Jack Maguire will take on Radek Rochelle in our feature bout of the preliminary card. Like I said on the build-up, 2 very different energies. Rochelle bringing the aggression, the heat, but Jack Maguire just letting it ride over him and looking to put on the show in this very cage here in the Typos Arena. So first up, we will kick off with our YouTube free prelim. Kevin Violence, perhaps my favorite nickname in mixed martial arts. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, the youngest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in Germany, will take on Tomasz Ciganik. Ciganik, the first of the Slovak fighters to make the walk to the cage, representing that Spartacus fight gym, coming off the back of 2 wins, 2 big wins for him, both finishes, both by rear naked choke. And tonight he is looking to impose himself and to set off tonight in Bratislava with a win for Slovakia.
The new school of MMA is gradually rising to the top, so buckle up and get ready for a fierce clash between 2 of its rising stars. Spectacular SFG warrior Tomasz Ciganik will be storming the stadium to challenge 100% finisher from Germany, Kevin Enns.
Oh, that was nice to the head.
Thanks to his technical abilities and undeniable quality, Ciganik is being talked about as the next Ludwig Klein.
Here comes the Slovak Samurai.
Champion of Ireland's Clan Wars organisation. He's ready to prove that he fully deserves to be ranked amongst Europe's fighting elite. On enemy territory, he'll be going up against Black Belt Warrior with 3 wins on his record, Kevin Enns.
Left hand lands from Kevin Enns.
In his debut, he almost walked away with the valuable scalp of Octagon Challenge Germany contestant Shaban. His technical abilities are always on full display, but if he is to claim victory this time round, he will need to deliver the performance of his life.
So here we go. Making his second walk towards the Octagon cage is Kevin Violence, fighting out of Dresden in Germany. In his words, the most beautiful city in Germany. Last outing, he took on Hassan Shaban, and it was a crazy fight, one in which he had to put up with the antics of Shaban and almost caught him in the 3rd round. That was a fight on 2 days' notice. This time he's had a little longer, nearly a month, to prepare for this fight, and he likes this fight, Luke. He really likes the stylistic matchup. He recognizes Ciganik is a rising star in these waters, but he sees holes in the game. He watched the George Stein fight against Ciganik, and he said the difference between me and Steins is a very, capable grappler. He can get you to the mat, he can dominate you, but what he doesn't do is take advantage of those positions to cause damage. He said, my nickname is Violence for a reason. I'm going to get him to the mat, and I'm going to unleash elbows, fists, and everything I can to get this win.
Well, we were talking about this one in the commentary, meaning obviously opening up the evening, a very entertaining fight in different styles, but he's going to need that. He's going to need the violence, because we didn't see that so much before. And I feel like we know he's capable of it, but if he gets Ciganik down, it's question number 1, if he can do that. And if he does, can he cause the damage? Can he look for finishes and not just hold on and hope? Because on the feet, I feel like there's a dramatic difference between these two. And Ciganik is not, he's also quite tough to keep down. He has submission victories. He's not a novice on the ground. Obviously, doesn't have the pedigree that Enns has, but can he utilize that pedigree to cause damage and violence and get a finish? Because I think the longer this fight goes for Ciganik, I think he can find a place to cause damage himself.
You look in the corner there, you'll see somebody with almost the identical haircut and face. He's about to hug him. Next, it'll be his father, Oliver. And this man has guided and supported Kevin through the journey. Oliver himself, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a judoka. And when he was young, he used to have Brazilians come over to train with his father. And he said he watched these guys, these legends of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sport. And he wasn't just inspired by who they were, but he was inspired by how hard they had to work to get that good. He then went out and trained in Alliance in Sao Paulo. He trained with a number of big Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Marcelo Garcia in New York, and he became the youngest black belt in Germany. And tonight, he believes using those skills could lead him to the victory he desires.
You are watching a master.
So here he comes, the Slovak samurai, Tomáš Ciganik. You listen to the gym and the noises coming out of the Spartacus fight gym. A big training partner for Ludwig Klein, and they talk about this man, you know, the potential he has to fly that flag, the generation, the next generation from Spartacus fight gym, which has already achieved so much. Then you look at his current records, you know, people might underestimate him, 3-2, but the last 2 victories, 2 wins, 2 submissions, 2 rear naked chokes, one over Denis Gonjala and another one over Aaron McDonald. We know him well from the England versus Ireland Octagon Challenge, and Ciganik caught him against the cage and got that first round finish. Potential, Luke, that's what they see in this fight, a potential, and tonight, opening the card here in Bratislava, he wants to realize that.
Yeah, rumours going around, most talented and possesses the most potential, we'll use that word again, in the gym at the moment, training and competing with very high-level athletes and getting better and better and better. But what I like, you know, about Ciganik is when he sees the opportunity to make something happen, he makes it happen. He's very dangerous. He's a finisher. He has that ability that not everybody has. So if he sees a moment tonight with Kevin Enns and Kevin makes one mistake, he will capitalize on it, because that's a skill set I believe Ciganik has, and we don't see that in every single fighter. So with the mixture of having the potential and the big names talking about Ciganik, and on this road, opening up the show here at Octagon, and that finisher's instinct, I do think we have a little bit of a prospect here.
Also, we talk about his skill set, his mindset. Let's talk about his cardio. George Staines almost succumbed to that in round 3 of their fight after putting a beating on Ciganik in rounds 1 and 2. Everybody talks about the amount of rounds this guy can do against top talent. Will that become a factor here against Kevin Violence? Both fighters inside the cage. This is our YouTube free prelim, the opening bout here at Octagon 63, and this is the tale of the tape. 1 year the younger is Dresden's own Kevin Violence. The height and reach will be on the side of Ciganik. 3-2 is both their records. The tip sport odds firmly in favor of the Slovak samurai, Tomáš Ciganik. This will be a fight competed, I believe, at 73 kilogram catch weight over 3 5-minute rounds. Let's get it underway. Let's hand it for the first time tonight to the one, the only, Ondrej Novotný.
Tak ještě jednou, dámy a pánové, vítejte na turnaji OKTAGON 63 zde v Bratislavě. Máme před sebou první zápas. Ještě předtím, než se do něj pustíme, dovolte mi, abychom jménem OKTAGONu, a věřím, že i vás všech, poděkovali veteránům, kteří budou mít svůj den zanedlouho 11.11. a věřím, že pro nás všechny je důležité, že právě oni věnují svůj život službě jak české, tak slovenské vlasti. Takže děkujeme moc, vážíme si každého z vás. Potlesk pro ně, prosím. And now we are ready for the first fight. Catchweight bout, 72 kilo, 3 5-minute rounds, and I will introduce you first fighter of the night. He's 25 years old, stands 180 centimeters tall, weighing 72 kilos. Represent Spitfire Gym Berlin. Coaches in his corner are Thomas Weichmann, Oliver Fischer, and Dennis Tugent. He has a professional record of 5 fights, 3 wins, 3 finishes, and 2 losses. Fighting out of Germany, Kevin ends violence. Across the cage in the red corner, 26 years old, 188 centimeters tall, weighing 71.8 kilos, represents Spartacus Fight Gym. Coach in his corner is Jan Huda. He has a professional record of 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 submissions, 2 losses, representing Neroda Cup team 7, Česká Energie, and fighting out of Slovakia. In the red corner, Tomáš Ciganik.
Fighters, you know the rules. Follow my commands, fight hard, fight fast, stop it, stop, touch your gloves, and go back to your corner.
Intense stare down there. Josef Wojt will be our third man inside the cage. This scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. The opening bout here, OKTAGON 63. Germany versus Slovakia. Kevin Violence in the blue corner, taking on Tomáš Ciganik in the red corner. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Luke Barnett.
Everyone expecting Kevin Enns to look for a takedown and try and get Ciganik to the ground as quick as possible. We'll find out if that's true. Feinting the takedown here, some good feints early. Needs to control the range because Ciganik is long and dangerous and has beautiful accuracy when he lets go.
Yeah, much taller of the two, and also not biting on any of these feints yet, and he'll be aware of the game plan. He knows the credentials that Kevin Violence brings into this this cage tonight. But look how loose he is, low hands, shaking the head.
I was going to say, needs to be careful. Kevin Enns doesn't feint low and come over the top with a big overhand, because he is known to do that. And if you can, very nice right hand landed there off the leg kick. If you can threaten, you know, that takedown, and it is a real threat, and you are worried about it, it does open up that big shot at the top. Gets in early, controls the hips, great push up against the fence.
Big, strong takedown there, elevates.
Easy elevation to get it to the mat. Ciganik now in the butterfly guard, double butterfly, and creating frames on the arms. Like I said, Ciganik knows what he's doing on the ground. He might not be a specialist, but he's no rookie on the floor.
And we'll see if Kevin can impose what he said he wants to do once he get it to the mat, which was the first question. He said he will utilize every position to open up damage, and there you can see the elbows.
They're doing that so far. Beautiful elbows from the top position. Butterfly guard up against the fence is difficult to use as well because you're getting squashed in, trying to pass around those legs. Only has one, but as a tall man myself, butterfly, it can be a beautiful thing to use to look for sweeps if you get a loaded hip on one side. But Kevin Enns' jiu-jitsu is such a high level. Grabs the head early, looking for this Darce choke.
He's
it might already be fed through deep.
He's hanging on to that.
Making the adjustments early here. Nice and dry, Brian.
Wow, he's got to try and break the base now. Ciganik hasn't got that quite over the head. Again, Ciganik, composure personified.
Yeah, great composure and understanding as well. Attacked the right arm, used 2-on-1, lifted that elbow, and everything fantastic there. Now has double underhooks up against the fence. Kevin Enns completely dead.
Belly-to-belly suplex.
I was about to say. A lot of intention from Enns, and then he delivers a beautiful takedown, but unexpected as well. Didn't know he had that pedigree in wrestling. Ciganik looking for his own submission, utilizes that to circle over, to roll over and get back up to his feet. Still neck is under threat though from Enns. Almost like an arming guillotine attempt. Doesn't seem to have anything too dangerous though, but threatening it maybe opens up something. Ciganik so far showing fantastic submission defense. Beautiful sneaking that elbow there as well.
Fire that up.
And beautiful work from Ciganik. And for me, this is what we spoke about. Yes, okay, Enns maybe can get him down, but can he keep Ciganik down? And is he going to get tired attempting to take him down over and over again? And, you know, Ciganik getting back to his feet, causing damage. It's a horrible thing to happen when you manage to get a takedown and you know that's where you want to fight, and he manages to get back up over and over again.
It's also one of those things, right? Kevin Enns might have watched that Staines fight. There's one thing watching it, it's another thing feeling what you're dealing with, right? And maybe that's the path that George Staines needed to have because of just what a handful Ciganik is, as he proves again by stuffing that.
Not just stuffed him, but reversed it and gets on top of himself. Yeah, real handful. Good ground and pound shots here as well. And Enns maybe giving up the back here if Ciganik wanted to float over. Using that knee shield very well though is Enns. Trying to set up that guillotine. Beautiful idea there.
Some pace this first
but
round
yeah,
as well.
Ciganik setting that pace intentionally, I believe. And even now, I would allow Kevin Enns back up to the feet, but happy to engage in the grappling, shows confidence. And like you said, the Staines fight was a beautiful fight for Ciganik, really, when it comes down to experience and being in there with someone we understand the pedigree of Staines and the ground game he has and the pressure that he has and the grappling that he has and the wrestling. So he's used to that now with Kevin Enns, who has a similar skill set.
And again, the pressure coming from Ciganik, this time crushing Kevin Enns up against the cage. And cardio could be a real factor in this pace. And also, you know, it's, I think, just over or just under 1 month's notice for both these fighters.
You also need to remember damage and striking and landing shots is what the judges are looking for. So these exchanges, they mean a lot. And for Kevin Enns to score the same kind of points, doesn't do that from getting takedowns. He needs to, once he gets the takedown, beautiful. Needs to establish it, doesn't, gets reversed. Beautiful work from Ciganik.
And the crowd appreciating this here in the Tipos Arena.
Searching for this Kimura, maybe going to try and use it as a sweep or actually attack it now, 10 seconds remaining. Beautiful right arm there, goes around and grabs the ankle, stopping the roll, not allowing Enns to do anything crazy. Just grabbed hold of him and kept attached, so Enns couldn't roll into anything off that Kimura attack. Beautiful first round. Ciganik impressing me with his defense, got taken down, defended a multitude of submission attempts and got back to his feet multiple times and even got reversals and happy to stay on top. I mean, we'll see how the judges think that was scored, but for me, Ciganik took that one.
We saw Kevin go back to the corner, instantly talking to his dad. I'll put you in that corner. What would you say Kevin Enns needs to do a little differently now in round number 2? Because he did have success as far as getting into the mat, but like you said, Ciganik just had an answer to every single question he posed.
It's establishing those takedowns, and I think the legs of Ciganik, he's utilized them very well on the ground. We see here in the highlights that right hand was probably, you know, the most vicious on the feet that we saw. Beautiful takedown, but he doesn't pass the legs when he gets the takedown. So if I was talking to Kevin, I would say, let's look for these takedowns. You obviously have the ability, but let's get takedowns that end up inside control or passing the legs, because once you're in the guard, the butterfly guard, the half guard, or any sort of position, you are struggling with those legs and you're not being able to get past. So we need little tricky takedowns that can pass the guard on the way down. We saw the scores there, Brian, as well.
Yeah, we saw all 3 judges score in favor of Tomasz Ciganik. Again, open scoring in play here at Octagon MMA.
And Kevin Enns wearing the damage early in that first round. You can see it on the face. It was probably that right hand that just misses. Oy. Good right hand there himself there from Enns. Beautiful teep. And Ciganik happy to engage on the feet and even grapple a little bit. Nice knee on the inside.
He seemed to respect, or not respect, the hands whatsoever if Kevin Enns kept his chin up, walked forward and just closed that distance.
I don't think he even respects the grappling at this point. Happy to engage and wrestle. I think he felt that first round. He felt the power and the intention from Enns, and obviously he feels like he can deal with it. Wants to be in here, grappling up against the fence, wants to tire him out, wants to keep the pressure high. I believe that is the game plan from Ciganik, to keep high output throughout these rounds and to tire out Kevin Enns.
And he loves these close quarter fights, right? He loves to be right in your face physically.
A nice head position here from Ciganik. Maybe he can turn over an elbow with that right arm. Switching. And the referee trying to speed this one up and break it, ask for action. Oy. Oh. Good shots on the inside from both men.
Yeah, both connected then.
Oy, big right hand lands there.
That was
jab
solid.
On the way out. And again, total disregard for Kevin Enns at the moment from Ciganik. Hands down, not even looking interested in defending shots. Pushes forward.
There are 2 losses on Ciganik's record, but both of them are decisions. One a majority, one a unanimous against George Staines, but he has faith in that chin, Luke. You can see that.
Well, I feel like the Staines fight is
nice.
Beautiful takedown.
Nice.
Now past the legs. This is what he needs. Again, regains guard, gets that butterfly. Now he's a bit more of a problem. Has the length. You know, I'm looking to pass now. Gonna get up. That's the issue.
Oh, he's firing it up this
again, looking for that dart. Again, the same as before. Might have it a little bit tighter.
It might has it tighter now.
Down and has control of that leg.
That's much tighter now.
Defense here. You're going in defense mode. Is Ciganik. You can see trying to survive. Belly's out. Beautiful work.
Kevin Enns hanging onto this though. Now turns. He has to grab the legs. This makes it tighter. But look at that, fighting those legs of Ciganik.
Beautiful work from Ciganik. Intelligent defense against a black belt. you know, in a very deep, interesting submission as well. Not a basic submission.
No.
Had a deep Darce choke there, had control of the bicep, the hand was over the back, rolled him through, rolled under, attempted it 3 different ways. Ciganik knew everything, followed the hips, rolled him over, ends on top, and now attacking the neck himself. I feel Kevin ends now that will take a lot out of his gas tank.
I don't know if you actually saw Kevin when he came and sat back up. He looked up at the camera, up at the screen, I should say, but there was a very despondent look in the eyes. And again,
that is how you break someone right there. When you give someone what people believe is their advantage in the fight, you give him the exact position he wants, and you debunk it in every single situation and end up on top and then start hitting him and attacking his own neck.
1 minute 50 seconds left in round number 2. Ciganik looks so fresh as well.
Nice. In on the hips now on that single, maybe a high crotch now from Enns, builds up well into that good head position.
That was nice from Enns. He had to, you know, muster something, and now he's back to his feet.
Yeah, and that's more of a wrestling base than jiu-jitsu. Nice switch attempt here, though, from Ciganik. And elbows,
nice
beautifully
elbows.
placed, beautifully timed. Big ones now. He's trying to get...
Oh, yeah,
trying to
see
get
the reaction.
to let go of that leg, and he does. Beautiful. Squares out the hips, still on the knees, but damage.
Well, pressure and output coming from Ciganik, trying to work his way to the back. He's got back-to-back rear naked chokes.
2-on-1 here from Enns, going to try and turn the hips and come out the right side. But he looks like he's questioning himself right now. This is a fantastic performance from Ciganik.
And the referee calling for more action. Should let people know as well, I know that the rule set changed in unified mixed martial arts for the 12-6 elbow and the grounded opponent. This will not be imposed in Octagon until January. So following January 2025, we will move to the new rule set. The fighters have been made aware, but just to make you, the audience at home, aware, a grounded opponent still stands in the previous rules, and the 12-6 elbow is still illegal until January 2025 in Octagon.
Yeah, exactly, and they said the only change they've had is they're encouraging these positions to have more action. Nice spinning elbow, lands heavy. And that just shows the confidence right now of Ciganik. Absolutely self-belief, feels like he's superior in every way at the moment to Enns. Out-grappling him, pushing him up against the fence, happy to spin, and he's going to go for it again, just misses. Nice, another attempt at an elbow, grabs the neck. What a round. That will put him 2 rounds up in the judge's eyes, and everything to do for Kevin Enns. And again, he has had the positions that he needs to win this fight. He has been deep on some submission attempts, and Ciganik has dealt with everything perfectly.
Now, look, when you have a fighter in this position, 2 rounds down, you know, possibly mentally broken by not being able to impose what is their skill set. Is there any better person to have in your corner than your father in your ear, right? This is why I believe, you know, Kevin Enns has the ace up his sleeve that could turn this around. He's got a lot to do. But Luke, having that man, the man who supported him through his career, in his ear in these moments, it could be vital, right, to what happens next.
I don't know if I had my dad in my corner. He's a photographer. He don't know anything about mixed martial arts.
Your dad is a legend.
But yeah, I'm sure it's the perfect moment to have support from someone you know who knows you inside out, understands the sport, and in these moments, these deep, dark moments, that is what you need. And he really needs to go for broke now. If it was me, I would give up on jiu-jitsu. It's not worth it.
Let's go to war, right? Let's go
to war. Let's feint these takedowns and let's hit him with something and earn his respect, because he is making mistakes. Ciganik is letting him get hit. His hands are down. He can land on Ciganik. Yeah. So I would throw away the jiu-jitsu. I would get rid of plan A. Let's go for plan B. Let's go to war. Let's try and get a knockout here in this 3rd round.
Oh, slick hands again. 3rd and final round. Enns in the blue corner, Ciganik in the red. 5 minutes, well, under that now for Kevin Enns to try and turn this around.
Ciganik now seems more happy to stand. You can see he taking control of the center of the octagon cage, now getting pushed back by Enns. Yeah, looks loose. And like you said, cardio looks fantastic in this 3rd. Enns a little bit more stiff and still looking for these takedowns, and gets stuffed, reversed, and is back in a very tough situation. Maybe going to try and look to sweep. Attack the arm, but again out there sweaty, he's tired. If you can't sub him in the 1st and the 2nd, the 3rd is going to be a lot tougher.
Well, look at the way he's working it to the back now.
Oh, beautiful.
Ciganik has back-to-back rear naked chokes. If he could get this against Kevin Enns, Enns reacts perfectly.
Yeah, now going deep half. right underneath. This could be very, very dangerous when it comes to elbows, and Ciganik likes to utilize them. Trying to wrap up that leg. Can't quite see it from this angle, but maybe gonna try and pull him over the top of himself and get the sweep. Now we see it better. Hasn't quite got enough purchase on that leg to make it count. Referee on top of them. At the moment, just waiting for his moment is Kevin Enns, but can't wait too long. Trying to grab that foot. Belly's out. Now we could see Ciganik go for his own front headlock series. Maybe gonna look try and work to the back. Does so, like you said, he loves the rear naked
He loves
choke.
it back-to-back against Gonjala and, of course, Aaron McDonald.
Wraps that arm inside. But again, like, as you said, as you stated, the level of Enns is much above those two. So if he could manage to get a submission victory here, then he becomes the submission threat. 3 rear naked chokes in a row against the black belt like Kevin Enns. I mean, I can't see it myself. Manages to get back up to his feet, does Enns. Fighting tooth and nail here.
Yeah, absolutely no quitting Kevin Enns, but lots to do, a mountain to climb in terms of switching the momentum of this fight.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal performance from Ciganik. Again, that spinning attack.
Little nod from Enns there. Oh, nice little shovel uppercut there from Ciganik, closing the action.
Yeah, I think Enns knew that one was coming, but couldn't do much about it. So I think it was the forearm that hit him in the face then. I don't think it was quite the elbow. But anything spinning and hitting you in the face doesn't feel good,
right?
nice, does it?
Not
Yeah.
nice.
I'd like to see maybe a judo toss here from Enns. He's trying to set it up, maybe just to create some space, that head position.
It's so good because you can't get your hips under the guy if your head is manipulated like that or pinned against the cage.
There he's trying it just to get some space.
Yeah.
Good idea from Kevin Enns, but didn't capitalize when he made the space. Again, Ciganik just looks, you know, like he's leveled up everything in his game in this fight. Oh, now going to the body. That seemed to hurt Enns. Oh, good shots there, though.
Solid.
Landing good left hook from Enns. And now attacking the neck.
Yeah, 1 minute 30 seconds. That clock against him now as well.
Trying to feed that arm through.
He loves that. It's so hard up against the cage.
Especially against a longer man.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult to break him down. Has good posture, good understanding.
And the sweat now, Luke, as well, right?
Again, maybe trying to find that judo toss. Trying to pin that arm. Got it, but, you know, only has 1 minute 10 seconds left. Ciganik running away with this one.
9 fights to follow this, and we will build to that main event that we'll see. Hafeni Nafuka, the youngest male fighter in a main event we've ever had at Octagon, 21 years of age. Oof. Take on Ivan Buki, booking up.
Enns slugging it out here. Going for broke. He's doing exactly what every fighter should do. He's not giving in. He's got 45 seconds left. He's fighting, like I said, tooth and nail and trying to make something happen. Ciganik just too much for him tonight.
Yeah, trying to work his way to the back once again. Oh, dropping for the roll. Might go for a leg.
Again.
He's attacking a leg here, Luke.
Beautiful work. Great.
He's attacking the leg. Oh, he
Ciganik
slipped out.
Too slick. Understood it. Switched his hips to the right moment. Now on the back. Wrist control. Wrist ride here. If he can get this right arm out, he could cause some damage. Trying to switch up a knee to the shoulder. Again, inventive. Kevin Enns fights back up to his feet beautifully. Great base, looking now for his own switch. Gives up the back. 10.
Oh, final seconds, and you'll hear the crowd go wild as that comes in. A little hand raised from the Slovak fighter.
Incredible performance from Ciganik.
Dominant.
That's what they've been talking about him in the gym. That's why we've heard that name so much. You know, talented. Every part of mixed martial arts was on display tonight. We saw great groundwork from guard playing to attack in the back, you know, to butterfly guard, to escaping very deep submissions. So he's got a solid ground game. And people think of him as a striker, even though he's on two rear naked chokes in a row.
And the other thing he's got now, Luke, is confidence. Confidence and momentum. 3-fight win streak. That is 2 in Octagon, 1 outside of Octagon. 2 finishes within there. And then claiming the victory here in Bratislava as well. Massive potential for that young man. And look at this.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed by this fight tonight. He, you know, I feel like he's gone up levels because Kevin Enns is no joke. You know, fantastic grappler in his own right, and also mixes up the martial arts very well. We saw some of those takedowns, that belly to belly that he got. You know, he knows what he's doing in there, and just Ciganik was too much, too intelligent, too intense. You know, even here, rolling for leg locks. Enns was trying everything he could to win that fight. Ciganik just had an answer for absolutely everything.
And let's talk about the star potential of Ciganik as well. He has a very fan-friendly fight style, right?
Yeah, people, you know, he fights, he wants to win. He comes out, he's not boring. He puts on pressure, high output. Look, I mean, look at the stats here. You can see the punches. He's out through it, nearly 3x. He's going in there to win, to get the finish, looking for submissions, looking for knockouts. You know, so he's a real prospect for us here at Octagon opening up tonight.
There we go. 3 rounds in the books. First fight down. Let's hand it to Andrej Novotny.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see how judges score this fight. All 3 judges scored this fight 30-27 in favor of the winner, Tomáš Cigo Ciganik. Tome, gratulace. 3. zápas letos, 3. vítězství, ale první v Octagonu, tak jak to chutná?
5. zápas letos. 1 underground pravidla.
Pravda.
Takže je toho už dosť, 5. zápas, ale ďakujem vám za túto šancu. Toto sa neodmeta, aj keď mám 10 zápasov a som hociak unavený, ale keď dostajem od Octagonu šancu od takejto veľkej organizácie a ešte aj tu doma u nás na Slovensku, tak ja si to veľmi vážim a musí to človek zobrať. Aj keď ten zápas bol taký, že tlačenica, ja som skôr ten postoj, chcem tam dávať knockouty, ale voľako sa mi zle triafalo, tak som to išiel na istotu, aj keď nebolo to na istotu, lebo on je black belt v jiu-jitsu, kto nevie. Všetci si mysleli, že to je nejaká potrava pre mňa v Octagone, nikto není potrava. Je to black belt jiu-jitsu, skákal tam po submisiách, hral som vlastne jeho hru, ale chcel som sa presvedčiť, že tá moja ground game sa veľa zlepšila.
No to mě právě překvapilo, že já jsem od tebe čekal, že si ho vezmeš vždycky do středu, zkusíš ho trefovat, máš rád podle mě styl Jiřího Procházky, nebo aspoň se to tam trošku propisuje, ale zdálo se mi, že možná nervozita před domácím publikem.
A akože cítil som troška nervozitu určite, lebo toto je proste nádhera, ani keď sa tu takto obzerám, ani som si to nechcel obzerať pred zápasom, ale asi akože je to určite človek, čím viac zápasí, tým je skúsenejší, nie je to krávina. Ja mám toto 6. zápas profi, bol som aj v Birminghame, tam nebolo toľko ľudí, toto je úplne niečo iné, takže je tam určite aj tá nervozita, ale sme tu na to, aby sme to zlomili a každým zápasom rastiem, však to vidíte. Bol som posterman teraz, vlastne 2 submisie teraz, posledné 2 zápasy, teraz som vyhral viac menej s prácou na zemi, alebo tak, jak to povedať.
Je někdo, koho by si proti sobě rád viděl příště?
Nie, určite nemám takto meno vyhľadnuté. Tento rok určite už nechcem zápas, už som aj z toho taký unavený, aj zo zhadzovania, zo všetkého. Ja si veľmi vážim, že ste ma zobrali. Jak som prehral v tom Anglicku, tak bol to ťažký super George Saints, nikto o ňom akože tu nevedel, ale my sme vedeli, do čoho ideme, tam som prehral. Potom som musel naskočiť, vyhral som 2 zápasy. Chcel som dostať šancu od Octagonu, dostal som ju. Spravil som tu zápas ešte aj doma, veľmi si to vážim.
No tak děkujeme, hezké Vánoce, užij si konec zbytek roku a uvidíme se v tom příštím.
Môžem ešte poďakovať, ja viem, že mám tu, ďakujem všetkým, bolo to vydreté víťazstvo, nerodilo sa to ľahko, ale mám tu veľa ľudí z Partizánskeho, ďakujem celej mojej rodine, všetci z Partizánskeho, čo prišli, dávame toto mesto na mapu, som rád, že ho môžeme reprezentovať a podporte našich chalanov zo ZSFG, Romana Paulusa, Karola Ríšavého, ideme si pre víťazstva a to je všetko, ďakujem svojej rodine, ďakujem svojim sponzorom, Kamil Mališka, najvernejší, viem si tu. Takže ďakujem všetkým, ďakujem vám za šancu a vidíme sa na ďalších eventoch.
První slovenský vítěz dnešního večera, Tomáš Cigo Ciganik.
Tomáš Ciganik scores the first win of the night after an intense fight. This was his 5th fight this year, so he's had a lot on his plate this year. The Slovak fighter said that he was grateful for the opportunity from Octagon, said he couldn't say no to a fight on home grounds in Bratislava. He said that Enns was not an easy opponent to take on. He has a black belt in jiu-jitsu and he's a master of submissions. You saw those takedowns in the first round and going on the next round. rounds. When asked why he did not perform as expected, Ondřej said that he was expecting him to show his Jiří Procházka-like style. Ciganik said that it's possible that he may have been a little bit nervous, but we've been seeing him improve. We've been seeing how he's been learning, and he said that he's going to work on that going forward. He said that we were able to see in his last 2 fights when he won on submissions how he's been improving his ground game. As for the future, he said he doesn't care who he fights next, but he said no more fights this year for sure. He said after his loss against George Staines, he had to bring himself back up, but you saw that he made that happen tonight.
He certainly did make that happen. That puts him on a 3-fight win streak. 2 finishes in there and looking extremely good. What a fantastic battle that was. My goodness, Luke, we're going to move up and through the card now. We've got 9 more fights to go. We've got 3 on the preliminary card. I want to talk to you about Radak Rušel and Jack Maguire. Just the different energies between these two. The Irishman coming over here to take on what is a legend in Czech-Slovak MMA. Totally different energies, but one thing is for sure, Jack Maguire has not come here to make up the numbers inside that cage.
I mean, I think he's got the correct energy, the energy you need. I think Rušel feeds off of energy. So if you go in there and you're hyped and you're pushing people at weigh-ins and you're shouting at people, that's what Radak Rušel wants. But Maguire's the opposite. Yeah, he's like water. He's relaxed, he's chilled, he's enjoying himself, and he seems supremely confident as well. He seems happy to be here, proud to be here. I think his last fight was in front of how many people?
Something like 800 people or something like that.
So for him to jump up here and be fighting in front of thousands, 10,000, 12,000 by the time he's fighting, you know, it's a big jump up for him, but he seems to just be embracing it and enjoying it, and he has the style to cause Rušel big problems.
Let's talk about the 2 English and Welsh fighters that are on the card later on as well. We have Aaron Abbey against Zhumagulov, and of course Diedrich versus Pukac. 2 great fights, big opportunities for both these guys, but they have to perform tonight if they, you know, they want to sit that Welsh and English flag in this octagon cage on a charge for title shots.
Yeah, and I definitely said that in the build-up, you know, on the socials about Aaron Abbey. Aaron Abbey, everyone loves him. You cannot. It's impossible not to with his story and what he's achieved. And I just feel like this is such a tough fight for him to have. You know, again, I'm going to struggle with the name.
Zhumagulov
is coming out of the UFC. I mean, I think he's coming off 3 split decision losses.
And 2 wins since that, 2 wins in Kazakhstan, yeah.
So he's, you know, coming out, now back on a winning streak, barely lost in the UFC. He's the highest of the highest of the highest of the level when it comes to this division. Aaron Abbey has done well and not so well inside the octagon cage. It's just a big ask for him tonight. We hope he does well, but it's going to be a tough one. And then Diedrich Pukac, you know, if Diedrich can make the performances with the knockout that we saw in his last outing and that we know he's capable of, I feel like, to me, it's the perfect fight against Pukac. I think he comes in here and storms through him, and I think that's going to be a highlight reel knockout.
A little bit of a commentator's dream as well. Amari Diedrich, dubbed by us as the king of violence, taking on the prince of Bratislava. That will be a welterweight contest, and again, that welterweight division absolutely stacked. One of these guys, whether it's Pukac or Amari Diedrich, will really make a statement here in Bratislava. Can they see that through? And of course, then we have our co-main event, Apollo versus Kurtesh. 2 former title challengers, veterans of the sport, veterans of Octagon, but they both want to make one last push. It's make or break for them tonight, Luke.
Make or break's a fantastic way to put it. I think whoever loses that bout, it's kind of the beginning of the end for them here at Octagon MMA. And I think Kurtesh, being the younger of the 2, you can still feel the hunger when you see him, and you feel his energy. Apollo, just kind of living life, happy to be here. You told the story about him being a kid from the favela, living on the streets, who's now traveled to 53 countries, living his dream, and he seems to just be happy living the dream. Whereas Kurtesh, I feel like wants it more, but we'll see it tonight inside the octagon cage and see which one moves forward.
Yeah, it was an emotional conversation I had with Apollo, talking about, you know, even wanting to take his own life when there was no light over there in Sao Paulo, no opportunities, no way of breaking free from that life. But tonight he will look to claim another victory against the very tough Kurtesh. However, before that, the sweetheart of Slovakia, Bratislava's own Smolkova, will take on Simplicio, the Brazilian coming off the back of a big win against Magdalena Sharmova, a fighter we know well in OKTAGON. She didn't just beat her, she submitted her, but Veronika Smolkova coming off the back of a huge win in the Peugeot Arena, and she wants to set this arena on fire.
Flyweight number 2 and fan favourite Veronika Smolkova is ready to shine in front of the home crowd in Bratislava once again. She'll be put to the test by Brazil's Milady Simplicio. She has 4 wins on her record and achieved 3 of these victories via finish. She scored one of those finishes in the second round of her bout in the open